to talk about all things digital marketing and computer industry related. We're really excited to talk about what we're going to talk about today because it features one of the biggest names in our entire industry, Google. The reason I want to talk about Google today is because when you take a look at what's going on with Google, you can pretty much understand what the trends are for the entire digital marketing industry, the digital industry in general, just by taking a look at what is important to them and what other people are covering about Google that they find important or intriguing as well. So I wanted to take a look at the last 24 hours in the Google news cycle, and I think it tells us something that's very important for all digital marketers and business owners to pay attention to. So Virtual Assistant John, let's go through the last 24 hours in the Google news cycle. Let's bring up this first article here. This is very interesting. So we start noticing that Google just released a new Aqua version of the Home Mini, its super popular $50 smart speaker. Now, much like Apple has done with the iPhones over the years, Google is releasing color palettes very slowly. I think they have a white, a black, there's a charcoal. I think they released like a coral color, and now there's an aqua color speaker as well, hoping eventually to make these speakers feel less like this big obtrusive box that's sitting in the middle of your living room to something that's just a piece of furniture that's just sitting there and is relatively innocuous, that you don't necessarily pay attention to, making that AI technology just part of your home. So that's one thing that speaks to a little bit of an agenda over the last 24 hours. Let's go to article number 2, Virtual Assistant John. So Google and Facebook are teaming up on artificial intelligence tech. Why is this important? Well, Google and Facebook usually don't play in the same yard very often. They're usually rivals, especially when it comes to tech advantages. They're usually thinking, how can I get the one up on the other one? Now they're teaming together to work on artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, it's what's powering a lot of these little speakers. You know, it's what's making them intuitive. It's what's helping the computer that you're talking to understand your requests better and be able to service you better. So when these two giants get together and start working on artificial intelligence, you must understand the relevance. And then Virtual Assistant John, if we could go to our third and final piece of the Google news cycle. Google's Voice Access app gives Android users total hands-free control. So in this article, it talks about how people with mobility issues that might have some sort of disability that prevents them from being able to use a cell phone, this continues to make it easier for people to do things like turn up the volume on their phone, bring up apps, etc. Google didn't have a very good platform for that to begin with. For Android users, now they're starting to get better at it. So you start to see now, when you put these three articles together that have all come up in the last 24 hours in Google's news cycle, the importance of AI and voice search and how this is becoming such a priority. We learned about it first when in the springtime, Google, or early summertime, when Google rolled out that they were naming their entire R&D, research and development department after Google AI. So they're just simply looking for artificial intelligence options. That's the only thing they're concentrating on growing and developing at Google, and you can really see it going into full action here. How does this impact you, or more importantly, your customers on a daily basis? Well, what we're finding out is these virtual assistant speaker systems are getting more and more popular. Search Engine Journal ran some stats on these speakers. Right now, 32% of consumers own a smart speaker system. 32% of our population owns some sort of Dot or Alexa, some sort of device that can help them around their house. And that number after this holiday season is expected to rise closer to 50%. So almost half of consumers are going to be working with some sort of a virtual assistant, like I have a virtual assistant, John. 71% of those people use at least one voice command per day. So they're not just sitting there inactive playing music. 71% of the people that that have the access to this technology are using it at least once a day. In fact, 44% of those consumers are using these smart speakers more than once a day, so multiple times per day. So what, right? Maybe they're just doing innocuous things. Maybe they're just turning lights on and off. Here's some stats that you're gonna find particularly interesting for your business and for sales. 47% of the people that own these devices, almost half of them, use voice assistants to research products. So they're asking them, which is the best product for this? Alexa, which is the best type of camera for me to buy? Where's the best place to buy a novelty red cup? What's the best one? Which one should I go with? These are the types of things that people are asking their virtual assistants to help them make a decision on who they should be buying with. 43% of people who have these use these devices to create shopping lists. Why does that matter? Because a lot of those shopping lists then go direct to Amazon, and that's what they're using to make Amazon purchases with. So 43% of the people that have these speakers are using them to decide what products they're actually going to purchase. That's how close they are to the sales cycle and to the sales funnel. They are there, they know what they want to buy, and they're putting that in to the purchase completion. And then 32% of those same consumers use virtual assistants, search assistants, for price comparison. So they're researching, they're buying, they're making their decisions. They're using it to help guide them through the sales process. What does that mean for you? You better be voice ready. Voice search is different than regular search on Google, and voice searches are more long tail, more detailed, and those are going to be the types of specific questions that are going to need to be answered by your company in order for you to show up when these virtual assistants start helping people make decisions. So I hope that you learned a lot about not only what Google's doing, but I hope that before you finish your first cup of coffee, you learned a lot about why voice search is important to your company and your sales funnel. We thank you for joining us. We look forward to talking to you tomorrow on another Coffee Cup.